The major stock markets are at multi-year highs. The U.S. economy looks like it's improving. The globe, other than Europe, looks like it's doing pretty well. But 2011 is not going to be a very good year, according to our guest, Gerald Celente. He's director of the Trends Research Institute. And you say that 2011 is going to be the year when the bailout funds and other schemes to prop up the economy evaporate, and everyone will recognize the onset of the Greatest Depression. And I have to say, a year ago, you predicted there would be the Greatest Depression in 2010. You're still thinking we're heading for a major crack.
What happened in 2010 that stopped that from happening? We found out because of the Dodd-Frank bill that the Federal Reserve was funneling what? Between 13 to $20 trillion worth of deals to the banks in England, in Scotland, in Japan, in South Korea, in the Netherlands, in France,
and here
in
in
Spain,
New York too.
To hedge funds, to brokerage firms, to private companies. I mean, who made this one up before? You know, so now these schemes are running out. Look what's going on now with Europe. All of a sudden, the Chinese and the Japanese are coming in to save the day, to buy bonds. Look how they changed the game with the Maastricht Agreement and the Lisbon Treaty. Oh, no, we're not going to bail out failing companies under the European Monetary Union until we do. So the games are running out. This digital money that's not worth the paper it's not printed on is going to run its course. We need a productive capacity. We have to make things. Look at the unemployment numbers. Go back to Obama when the stimulus began. They said that in 2010, because of the stimulus, we will have created 4 million jobs. How many jobs were created in 2010? 1.1 million. How many jobs overseas did American companies create? 1.5 million. What was the unemployment rate supposed to be under the Obama administration?
8%, right?
7.5 in 2010.
Okay, but the world hasn't ended. The job numbers are getting better slowly. They're still kind of crappy, but they're getting better slowly. It looks like this whole digital money phenomenon is a free lunch. We bailed out our banks. We bailed out the European banks. Everything's okay. So
right.
What are you worried about?
It's going to end at some time. And look at the unemployment among the youth. You know, they're estimating that about 3 million kids have never gotten into the job force. Look at these young people with debt from going to college. What is that? The average is about 25,000. It goes up to 100,000. They have degrees in worthlessness. They can't get jobs. They're looking at numbers. I just saw a report that at the current job creation rate, they're looking about, I think it was like 2030 that will get back to this number. So no, we need a productive capacity. We have to make things.
Right, so why this year is the crack-up going to occur? Why can't they keep now the Chinese and Japanese, if I told you last week they were going to buy Irish and Portuguese debt, you would have thought I was crazy. I mean, there's other tools in the toolbox of the policymakers to keep the balls in the air, right?
Currency wars. You're hearing it from Brazil. You're seeing it in Chile, just about all of South America. There are currency wars. The game is going to end at some point. You know, could they come up with another scheme undreamed of? Yes, they can. Absent those kind of schemes, if capitalism takes its course at some remote level that it used to be, we see the crash happening.
But this country already came through the Great Depression, which was pretty horrible, and we had a much higher unemployment rate than we had then. We have all kinds of problems, basically no economy relative to what we have now. So why won't we come through this eventually?
Well, first of all, what got us out of it? World War II. And who was the engine of manufacturing in the world? It was the USA. We built the world out of the war and after the war. We no longer have that manufacturing. So we believe there's going to be something, because when you go back to the 90s, again, we were in a recession. What got us out of it? A productive capacity. The internet revolution, our whole world's changed. Products were manufactured, designed, invented, marketed, serviced. A productive capacity. You can't print your way out of it. I'm not the only guy saying this.
No, you're not. And I will give you credit. Last year at this time, you were here and you talked about that there would be a return to more of a sentiment of we want to buy American as Americans, and that quality would matter. And it seems like that's happening too. And you see what's going on with Ford and GM and the new cars they're putting out. So isn't it possible that the U.S. manufacturing base has already seen its lows and we've already started that recovery that, as you say, we need?
Yes, but we don't have the manufacturing here because we're importing so much from other countries, particularly China. And again, the things, listen to what the finance minister of Brazil, Manteiga, said. Currency wars. You listen to Merkel, trade wars. Currency wars plus trade wars equals real wars when you go back again to the 1930s, as you were talking about. And these are real. They know that the United States is devaluing the currency in front of everybody's eyes by this QE2 and maybe QE3 and the QEs we don't know about.